After the winter we've been through, whoa.
Thanks, Senator Harkin. Mayor Holm.
Yeah, good to see you.
Well, welcome. If you want to give us a couple of comments, do you have time for us to
I
talk
do,
about
and
our
someone's going to
project?
tell me when I got to run out there. I thought I better do this because we got 2 votes, and who knows how long those drag on sometimes. Welcome again. I know you've been meeting with my staff, right? Right. Zach and Jenny and whoever else, maybe Richard too. First of all, I know one of the big issues is the Thompson Correctional Facility. I've been out there. Joe went out there last year, and the president put it in his budget request, so we have it before us. Got to go through appropriations. I think we're pretty well keyed up to do that with Senator Durbin, who's on appropriations, and me and others to get this done. We're going to have one problem. We'll have the same amendment probably this year as we had last year. The other side will offer an amendment that we can't transport any prisoners from Guantanamo to here. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we got the votes or not. Who knows? This is an election year and all that kind of stuff goes around. But I mean, I'm convinced. I mean, as you know, we already have terrorists in federal prisons, and they're not going anywhere. And you look at that Thompson facility, it's just going to waste. Yeah. We put all that money there, taxpayer money, just sitting there going to waste. So we're going to do our darndest to try to get this thing over the hump, but I just wanted to let you know that we may have that problem on the transferring prisoners again. And as I said, people get wobbly in the knees, you know, and stuff like that. But I'm on it, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. Some of the other things I know that you're interested in, the 19th Street connector, we've been on that, as you know, and there's been some money that's gone out for that, and I think you're asking for some more for this year, right? Next year, huh?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, again, this is one of my priority items, as I indicated in the past, and my notes tell me there's about $2 million shortfall.
Yes,
something like that. Well, okay, well, again, we will see what we can do to be helpful on that. As you know, there's a lot of stuff going on about earmarks around here. Don't get me started on that one. We found out the other day, our appropriation, we found the President of the United States, I don't mean just this one before him too, they always want control. Presidents always like to control things, everything. But I'm sorry, there's a thing called the Constitution of the United States, and it quite clearly gives to Congress the power of the purse. Huh? And so we found that the White House basically has about $20 billion in earmarks that they do. Well, why they do it, but we can't, and we represent you, and we know what people need in our communities more than those bureaucrats do. Anyway, as I said, don't get me started on it. The UP Rail Bridge, yes, I do know about that too, and we are looking at Tiger money for that, perhaps, Richard?
We're trying to do Tiger Round 2 and also look at an earmark in the FY11 bill.
Okay.
Senator, one of the things just I wanted to mention.
Senator, we met with the Coast Guard this morning.
Oh, yeah, what'd they say?
Well, Steve Ames can maybe tell you more about that, but basically he said that we had to work with Senator Durbin on that side too. So Steve, would you want to?
Yeah, I mean, we were there this morning, and as we understand it from Richard's leads, there has to be appropriations to the Coast Guard to replace that 102-year-old rail bridge.
Right, there has to be, we need, one method is to do an appropriation in Homeland Security, and the game is to try to get enough for the design in FY11. And that would allow, and once that occurs, they're in better shape to be close to ready to move forward, which would allow them to be in better position for future Tiger rounds. But they also can try to do the design money in Tiger 2.
The second bells are rung. That means we got 10 minutes left, so I got probably about 5 minutes to go.
So we just appreciate it if you'd work with Senator Durbin.
I will. I absolutely will. These are things that we'll work together on, but I don't know what we have. I have to figure out what we got to do with the Coast Guard on this.
Right.
But you're saying they told you that we got to appropriate that money.
Correct.
Right.
And they were.
It's done in Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Under
It's under Homeland Security.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Coast Guard.
Okay. So it's a Homeland Security.
But the whole thing, the bridge is huge to what we're doing on the west end of town, the railport, which is part of your pack, and I do have a little handout on it, but just
Right.
want to mention
Okay.
as well where with the project, which we've talked to your staff repeatedly, and we've been out here for 4 or 5 years talking about the railport, we're breaking ground on this spring through the investment the city's put into it, the county. We have almost $16 million in local match on that project. We're still looking, we still have a shortfall of about 2.8 on phase 1 and 3.2 on phase 2, so we prioritize the 2.8 on phase 1. But powerful message is the local match, and we're breaking ground. But as well, the rail bridge comes into play with the efficiencies of logistics within our region, because you've got the Canadian Pacific that goes north and south. With the way the UP is now, there's a bottleneck there, and it exacerbates our problem with emissions because there's idling in town. Also, the rail bridge, as you know, it swings open to accommodate barge. You can have rail backed up to Cedar Rapids. And interestingly, Brenda Mainwaring, who's with Union Pacific, mentioned to me a statistic that about 25% of all rail freight crosses that river on the UP bridge. So it's hugely important to us.
I remember we met with UP on this. I talked to them about the problem we had with UP there on
Right,
that.
I think there was a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and Senator, there's,
I
when we go to Code Orange, there's 2 things we guard in Iowa. It's our 2 railroad bridges.
Yeah, right.
So they must be pretty important.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I think UP was not very forthcoming, if I remember. I just trying to remember that conversation I had about that. But we'll continue to pursue this with Durbin and with the Coast Guard on it, huh?
Great,
Thank you.
Comanche, Washington Boulevard.
That's me.
That's you, I know.
I just come out to remind you. In 2008, I was here, and you thought that was really a good project.
I did,
In
yep.
2010.
Yep.
We're doing the north end, doing the south end ourselves. The center section is a $5 million project for us, because we need the infrastructure.
Okay.
You know, I was telling Richard the other day, I said, if this was proportionally, if this was out in Des Moines, it'd be a $235 million project for them. I really need some help.
Yeah, well, we are.
20% tax raise if I don't get some help, so. But that's,
Well, I'll try it again. We tried it last year. We'll try it. All I can do is try.
we appreciate that.
I'll try it. I will.
Okay.
Richard, help me on Comanche.
Comanche,
Thank you.
it's
Try. But, I mean, I don't mean help me now. I mean help help when we get down the road on this thing. I am going to have to run. Sewer and water issues, Jen handles that. I guess we're going to continue to get money for that too. And there are some others here too. I'm sorry I got to run. I'm going to miss a vote. I got a second vote. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to working with you on these projects. And
don't forget Highway 30.
and Highway 30 and Highway 20, Highway 30. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks very much. Good to see you all. Bye. I'm sorry, my staff. Talk to them. They do all the work anyway.
Thank you. Boy, didn't that plane look a little too close?
It's taking off from Reagan.